Good morning, Key Stage 1, and hope you had a lovely weekend. Welcome to day 1 of your second week on Little Red Riding Hood. So this week we are going to be starting with today's lesson, which is writing sentences that include speech. So this is building on what you were learning about last week with exploring speech marks in a text. So that's what we're doing today. Then tomorrow you are going to be using apostrophes to show possession. Then you're going to be editing your writing by rereading and checking it. Then you're going to edit your writing by improving some vocabulary choices, so improving word choices. And then finally, you're going to publish your writing and have a lovely story by the end of this unit of work. In today's lesson, you are writing sentences that include speech. So this is when the characters in the story are talking to each other. The first one is I can write what a character says. Then can you also use the correct punctuation? So that's your speech marks, that's the inverted commas, capital letters in the right places, and full stops. And can you even use synonyms for said? And we're going to look at what synonyms means in just a moment. Before we move on to today's learning, you need to know what a synonym is. So can you say that word after me? Synonym. Well done, let's try it again. Synonym. Brilliant, well done. And today, some of you are going to be using synonyms for said in your writing. So let's look at what a synonym is. A synonym is a word that means the same or nearly the same as another word. So it's given an example here, such as little and small. They have a very similar meaning. So I could say the mouse was little, or I could say the mouse was small. Those two words are synonyms. They mean very much the same thing. So we have got our definition up here in case you forget. So remember, a synonym is a word that means the same or nearly the same as another word. Then we're going to have some questions for you to discuss before I give you the answers. So the first question is, which of the following words is a synonym for loud? So which word means the same or nearly the same as the word loud? Is it A, quiet, B, small, C, noisy, or D, sleepy? If you're finding it quite tricky, you can try and use it in the same sentence to see what makes the most sense. So if I said the children were loud, what means the same as the children were loud? The children were quiet, the children were small, the children were noisy, or the children were sleepy. Noisy is a synonym for loud, so well done if you got that correct. The next question is, can you think of a synonym for big? So can you think of any words that mean the same or nearly the same as the word big? I'm going to tell you some of my ideas, but you might have got different ideas. So I was thinking of the word huge, massive, humongous. Could you think of any more? And the last question is, why might you need to use synonyms in your work? I want you to have a good think of this. So why do we need to use lots of different words that mean the same thing? Pause the video and have a chat with your adult. So the main reason that we use synonyms in our writing is to make our writing more exciting. So if you were saying the word big all the time, the building was big, the tree was big, your writing would get a little bit boring, but you could say the tree was massive and the tower was huge. And using different vocabulary makes your writing that bit more exciting. So let's have our retrieval practice for today then. So thinking about last week when you were looking at speech marks or inverted commas as their posh name, looking at the sentences, we've got A, B and C. Which sentence uses speech and speech marks correctly? All of them say, "Hello," said the wolf. "Where are you going?" But which one uses the correct punctuation? Pause the video and have a think. Well done if you got that correct. So it should have been B. We've got hello. That's the first thing the wolf says, and that is inside the speech marks. So hello, said the wolf. Where are you going? And that bit as well, where are you going, is inside the speech marks as well. You will need to do something else to warm your brains up today, and that's to reread the story of Little Red Riding Hood to make sure it's really fresh in your brains before you start your writing today. So first, I'd like you to listen to the story, and you can do that by listening to your grown-up read the flip book, or you can listen to your grown-up read the waggle, or you can go on to week 1, day 1, and listen to me on the video if you'd like to. After you have listened to the story, then you are going to retell the story, and you're going to use the text map to do that. So you can look at the text map on the screen, or some of you might have written out your own text map that you can use, or you can go to the previous videos that have the text maps in them. So pause the video now and make sure first you listen to the story and then you read the story using the text map. Before we start your writing today, we are going to look at some synonyms for the word said, because I know lots of you will want to challenge yourself in your sentence writing. So what you need to do on a piece of paper, you need to write said in the middle, and around that word write as many different synonyms for said as you can think of. There's no right or wrong answer for this one, but afterwards I will give you some examples that you can use in your own writing. One of the examples is answered, and this is a word that appears in our waggle, okay? So you can look through the story of Little Red Riding Hood to think and to help you, or you can just think of your own words for said. So give yourselves 5 minutes, pause the video, and then I will show you my examples that I have come up with. Well done everyone for finding lots of synonyms for the word said. You should be super proud of yourself. So I'm going to give you some more examples, and remember, these do not have to be the same as what you have come up with. These are just some of my ideas that you can use to help you in your writing. So we've got the word explained, which we can find in our waggle as well. Replied and shouted. These are all different words for said that you can use in your writing. Then I came up with some of my own ideas. Announced, whispered, cried, and asked. All of these words you can use in your writing today to make your writing a bit more exciting. So our next activity is a quick discussion one. You don't need to write anything down, but you're going to use the synonyms for said in sentences. So I want you to talk through each sentence and think which synonym could be used instead of said. So we've got, oh granny, what big ears you have, she said. Which word could you use instead of said? Well done. Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. It's which word you think fits the sentence best. The next sentence is all the better to hear you with, said the wolf. Which word could you use instead of said in this sentence? Fantastic. And the last sentence, help, said Little Red Riding Hood. Which word would be good to replace the word said in this sentence? Well done, everyone. Now I think you are ready to move on to your own sentence writing. Now we're going to move on to our sentence writing. What you need to do is you need to find your piece of writing from last week that you started. And these are the 3 templates that you might have started it on, or you might have just been writing it on a piece of paper. But we are continuing that piece of writing today. Just as a quick reminder, the red paragraph, the first paragraph, was what you wrote last week. So this paragraph you should have already written, the one that says once upon a time and ends with she met a wolf. Hopefully you've found that piece of writing and we can continue from that today. I am going to show you how I would start my writing, and then you can copy my writing to start with before you continue with your own writing. So just as a reminder, we need to start all of our sentences with a capital letter. We need to use our neatest cursive handwriting, finger spaces, full stops, and if we need to, question marks and exclamation marks. We always need to read our work, check it. We won't need to tick or fix it, we'll just need to check it. And today you will be needing to use your speech marks or your inverted commas as well. Down here I have got all of the synonyms for said that were on the last page, but remember that you can use your own synonyms for said as well. I've also got pictures to help you remember what happens in the story, and your sound map to remind you that you need to use your sounds as much as possible to help you with your spellings. So when I'm writing, I need to look at my text map carefully, and it starts with the punctuation. So I need to use my pen, or you'll be using your pencil, and start with the punctuation, which is the open speech marks. And then we've got the word hello, which is what the wolf says. Need a capital letter to start with. And then the word hello. So I've got some more punctuation. I've got a comma and closing my speech marks there. Hello, said the wolf. Now I'm going to pick a different word for said, and I'm going to use the word whispered. And I think that makes him sound quite creepy if he's whispering in the forest. So I'm going to go for hello, whispered the wolf. And I'm going to copy the spelling so I know that I've got it right. and go whispered, the, and again just copying the text map to help me with those spellings. Whispered, the wolf. Then my text map shows me that that is the end of the sentence. I need a full stop there. And then we've got speech opening again. Now the reason I don't need a new line is because this is still the wolf talking. If it was a different character talking, I would need to do the new speaker, new line. But it's not a new speaker, so I'm going to carry on here. Capital letter. Where are you going? So with go, I know how to spell go. And then it's ing, go, ing. That's the end of my sentence, but if I have a look at my text map, it shows me that I need to end that sentence with a question mark because it is a question sentence. Where are you going? So I'll have my question mark and then close my speech marks. And you could make that sentence even better by having something like, where are you going? Asked the wolf. Or where are you going? Questioned the wolf. You can add in those different synonyms for speech there. Then you need to think about what Little Red Riding Hood replies. And it is a new speaker, new line because we've got a new character talking. So on a new line, I would start my speech marks. And then copy what Little Red Riding Hood says. I'm going to visit my grandmother. Okay, and I'm going to stop there because I don't want you to copy all of my work, but I've given you the first 2 sentences to help you get started. Now what you need to do is copy those sentences or make them better if you would like to, and then finish writing this orange paragraph, so the second paragraph of our story. Pause the video and good luck with your writing. I know your sentences will be amazing. Next, you are going to write the green paragraph of the story. So this is the 3rd paragraph in the story. Remember to use those capital letters still, your cursive handwriting, finger spaces, just full stops for this one, reading it and checking it. Now in this part of the story, you will not need to use your speech marks. Okay, so when it's your turn to write it, make sure you are not using speech marks in this part of the text. So when you're ready, pause the video and let's see you write your 3rd paragraph of the story. If you feel like you need to have a break before you start your 4th paragraph of writing, then please have a break because this paragraph is quite a long paragraph. And I know you've probably got very tired hands from all your writing at the moment. You will need to have this paragraph finished before we do tomorrow's lesson though. So please make sure you do get it finished at some point today. But pause the video and when you're ready, you can try to write this paragraph of writing yourself. It is now time for the plenary, so let's see if you can remember what you have been learning about today. So I have a sentence here, and you need to rewrite the sentence so that the speech is used correctly, because that's what we've been learning about today, writing sentences with the speech. So my sentence is help, shouted Little Red Riding Hood. And the speech marks, the inverted commas, have been put in the wrong place. So on a scrap piece of paper, you need to rewrite this sentence so that the speech marks are in the correct place. Pause the video, and when you are ready, play it again to see the answer. So this is the answer you should have got. You should have got help in inverted commas, shouted Little Red Riding Hood. And well done if you've written that correctly with the correct speech marks and the correct capital letters and other punctuation. So exclamation mark and full stop as well. Well done if you've got that correct. It is now time to reflect on today's lesson and see how successful you were in your learning. So today you were learning to write sentences that include speech. So have a think in your head. Could you write sentences? And in those sentences, write what the character says. Can you also use the correct punctuation? So that's speech marks, your inverted commas, capital letters, and full stops. And lots of you will also have used your question marks and exclamation marks there as well. And could you even use synonyms for said? Could you use more exciting words than said in your writing? Well done for today's lesson, everyone. I'm very, very proud of the amazing writing that you are doing. Tomorrow, you are going to be using apostrophes for possession. So that is some tricky grammar work tomorrow that you are going to be doing, but you will all be amazing at it. So I hope you all have a lovely day and join me tomorrow for your second English lesson of this week.